She reflects on her past beliefs while watching a distant scene through the mansion's glass. A handsome blonde man pledges his total devotion to her in a shimmering romantic memory. Hope blossoms within her as she wonders if happiness is finally within her reach. The tender connection and his brilliant gaze make her believe in a late-arriving spring. Despite her noble birth, she views her life as a mere succession of discarded leftovers. Born into a powerful house, she reflects on the prestige and privilege of her family. Her childhood was marked by cruelty because her mother was a mistress, not a legal wife. She endured abuse from servants and survived on meager scraps in a cold, lonely room. Every aspect of her existence was merely the discarded remains of her more fortunate siblings. Amidst the neglect, her mother's gentle care provided a solitary source of comfort and song. A rare moment of pure warmth and love is shared between the mother and daughter. After her mother's death, the last remnants of her status as a lady shattered completely. Forced into servitude, she now spends her days laboring like a common lowly palace maid. She clings to the desperate hope that marriage will be her final escape from suffering. She endures the bitterness of her life, believing any union would bring a better future. Her scarred hands press against the glass, a quiet testament to her years of hardship. The bird flies away as she realizes the rescue she prayed for never actually arrived. She stands alone in the vast hall, a solitary figure trapped within her own life. The other servants harshly command Anna to stop daydreaming and prepare the master's meal immediately. A soft squelch sounds as she wrings out a cleaning cloth with her weary, reddened hands. She works silently in the bustling kitchen, overshadowed by the more established house staff members. While serving her father, she understands his deep loathing for the idea of her marrying. Years of living on the edges have conditioned her to accept the life of scraps. She sees herself as just another discarded leftover, no different from the scraps on plates. State priests discuss the futility of judging an unmarried noblewoman who has reached 28. They dismiss the upcoming ritual as a mere formality required for every unmarried ducal daughter. A subtle mocking smirk plays on the priest's face as he contemplates the pointless ceremony. They stop calling her lady while she notes the high priest group is unusually energetic. She recognizes that the men whispering in the hallway are state-appointed priests on official business. Though their words are insulting to her rank, she remains entirely unaffected by their prejudice. With a soft rustle of paper, she turns the page of her worn blue book. She remains stoic as the priests arrive, having long ago numbed herself to their insults. The heavy doors open with a sharp creak as the group of holy men finally enters. The green-haired high priest offers a hollow greeting, inquiring about her well-being with a smile. She greets them formally in a grand room prepared for the impending spiritual ritual ceremony. The priest instructs her to consume the holy water before touching the glowing crystal ball. She drinks the purification liquid, participating in the ritual meant to identify the legendary Saintess. The glowing potion is intended to purify her body before she faces the final judgment. Legend speaks of a divine Saintess who emerges once every few centuries to save him. The manifestation of a Saintess is unpredictable, with neither her age nor timing being certain. With no way to predict the Saintess's arrival, the ceremony remains a mysterious ancient tradition. Tradition dictates that the chosen Saintess must remain unmarried to maintain her divine spiritual purity. The high priest explains that the artifact only reacts to a heart that is exceptionally pure. She views the entire proceeding as a pointless waste of time for a discarded daughter. Her weary purple eyes reflect the emptiness she feels toward the high priest's grand claims. The girl who once felt excitement for this legend is gone, replaced by a woman. At 28, she is considered a social leftover in a world that prizes youth above all. A soft hum resonates as she finally places her hands upon the shimmering, cold surface. Her eye widens in pure shock as something unexpected begins to stir within the light. Wah! A blinding flash of light suddenly erupts, drawing a startled gasp from the silver-haired woman. Anna's eyes widen in sheer disbelief as she witnesses the artifact's unexpected glowing reaction. The high priest and his companions gasp in shock at the humble maid's miraculous touch. Startled by the sudden activation, Anna quickly pulls her hand away from the shimmering crystal. The younger priests look toward their leader with wide eyes, searching for a logical explanation. Anna defends herself against accusations of cheating, as she is clearly the most surprised person. She remembers witnessing her sisters fail this very ritual countless times over many long years. Her purple eyes reflect the truth that the crystal has never once glowed until now. The high priest urges Anna to repeat the ritual to confirm this once-in-a-lifetime occurrence. With a steadying breath, she prepares to touch the mysterious glowing orb for a second time. A massive surge of holy power erupts from the artifact, confirming her status beyond doubt. Anna closes her eyes as the divine light of the Saintess envelops her entire being. The humble maid stands at the center of a miracle that will change her world. A faint smile of realization touches her lips as she accepts this new, holy destiny. Later, Anna receives an official envelope and wonders if it pertains to her recent awakening. The document formally declares that Anna Rischeril has been officially appointed as the nation's Saintess. Staring at the paper in disbelief, she wonders what this sudden elevation truly means for her. Moonlight bathes the grand estate in a cool blue glow as a new chapter begins. An elegant man in a blue uniform reads the letter regarding the newly discovered Saintess. A knowing, calculated smirk spreads across his face as he absorbs the surprising news. Silvio muses that life is about to become very interesting now that she is awakened. Anna sighs as she finishes packing her few worldly belongings into a small brown suitcase. The letter also reveals a royal decree ordering her marriage to the nation's crown prince. Clinging to the letter, Anna stands in her maid uniform, processing her incredible status change. The scene shifts to the palace gardens where she must live to deepen their bond. She contemplates the prospect of living with the crown prince at his estate for 1 month. In her final act as a servant, Anna cleans the windows of her humble room. A young boy's voice breaks the silence, asking if she is really leaving him forever. Retario Stella stands among the flowers, his face etched with the pain of an impending loss. As the future head of his house, Retario is a child burdened with immense expectations.
The young boy looks down sadly, finding the reality of their separation difficult to bear.
Anna gently pats the white-haired boy on the head, offering him soft words of comfort. She reflects on how the young master was her only true friend within the household. In the past, Anna was treated like a common servant rather than a noble family member. Despite the cruelty of others, Retario always sought her out with flowers and genuine warmth. He was the only person who treated her as family and offered her consistent kindness. Anna tenderly cups the boy's face, urging him not to be so sad about her departure. Retario blushes as he begins to voice a secret wish he has held for a while. Anna looks at him with curiosity, wondering what the young boy is trying to tell her. The boy's face turns even redder as he expresses a desire to be much older. He boldly confesses that he would have married her himself if he were a little older. Stunned by the pure declaration, Anna can only stare at the child in wide-eyed amazement. She thanks him for the sweet sentiment, choosing to view his confession as childish affection. They spend their final minutes together cleaning her quarters before she must leave the estate. Anna looks at her sparse servant's room one last time before stepping into her future. She carefully packs a small pouch containing a precious charm she has owned since childhood. Dressed in a beautiful blue gown, Anna offers a final grateful goodbye to her old life. With a determined and calm gaze, she prepares to embrace her new role as lady. She looks back at the crying boy, promising that they will surely meet again soon. A radiant and hopeful smile spreads across her face as she steps through the final door. Left alone in the quiet room, the young boy weeps over the loss of his friend. Anna walks through the hall with her suitcase, noting Retario cannot see her off. Anna stands ready as the silver-haired woman yells that she is late for the departure. Melissa Stella scolds Anna for keeping her waiting despite the carriage already being there. Anna reflects that the young boy was always conscious of his mother Melissa's harsh, watchful eyes. A memory shows Anna as a maid carrying laundry while Melissa and a guest walk past. Melissa frequently scolded those who disobeyed, leaving the young boy looking on in silent distress. Anna bows her head and offers a polite apology to Lady Melissa for the delay. A tiny, thoughtful version of Anna is surrounded by a group of yellow chicks. Melissa accuses Anna of secretly looking down on her, which Anna immediately and stoically denies. Melissa mocks Anna's luck and calls the idea of a leftover marrying the prince ridiculous. Melissa continues her bitter rant, noting that even she failed to catch the prince's eye. Melissa screams in fury while Anna remains entirely unmoved by her sister's sudden, explosive tantrum. Anna realizes that Melissa's harsh words have lost their power since she reached her breaking point. Having previously viewed the world as hopeless, Anna finds it easier to listen without arguing back. Anna offers a gentle smile, knowing that compliance is the best way to avoid more tantrums. Melissa sighs with annoyance, while Anna bows deeply in a final show of servant-like respect. Anna reflects on their lack of sisterly bond and Melissa's claim that she'll never be loved. Melissa gestures dismissively at Anna while they stand together in the sunlit garden. Melissa points out that luck doesn't change the fact that Anna is already 28 years old. Anna looks at her own hand, having long ago grown numb to her sister's petty insults. Melissa boasts about her own aggressive pursuit of the prince that ultimately ended in failure. Anna looks away and quietly acknowledges the truth of her sister's harsh, bitter assessment. She understands the marriage is a result of ancient royal regulations triggered by a Saintess's appearance. Anna recognizes that the nation's long history is far too deep for her objections to matter. Melissa watches Anna with a mocking smirk, while Anna maintains her characteristic, quiet passivity. A vision of the handsome blonde crown prince appears, surrounded by a radiant and shimmering light. Anna recalls hearing rumors that the prince is actually quite laid back and very rarely smiles. Anna promises to avoid causing any trouble, prompting a sharp and dismissive scoff from Melissa. A soft gasp escapes Anna as she is suddenly startled by an unexpected sound nearby. Retario peeks out from behind a pillar, his face etched with sadness at her departure. Anna looks at the boy with affection, thinking about what a sweet and innocent child he is. Anna turns back to offer a final gentle look at Retario before leaving for good. Retario offers a bittersweet wave and a small smile as he watches her walk away. Anna walks away from the estate, her footsteps echoing as she leaves her past behind. A maid rushes toward Anna, holding out a beautifully wrapped blue gift box with a ribbon.
Close-up hands transfer the elegant blue gift box intended for Anna's journey to the palace.
Anna looks at the box with surprise and asks Lady Melissa for an explanation. The blue gift box sits alone, shimmering under the light as petals fall around it. Melissa insults Anna's birth and abilities once more while handing over her luggage. Melissa orders Anna to lie about the gift's origin to help preserve the family's dignity. Melissa coldly states she has no use for a servant who is finally leaving her house. A sudden, firm shove from behind pushes Anna forward as she clutches the blue gift. Anna realizes Melissa only kept her around to bolster her own fragile sense of self-esteem. Anna admits that she only stayed because she truly had nowhere else to go until now. Anna boards the grand black carriage, prepared to travel toward the royal capital and her future. Anna sits alone in the carriage next to the gift, marking the end of her servitude. Looking at her reflection in the window, Anna allows a small, hopeful smile to appear. 3 days pass as the carriage travels through the woods, with Anna watching the scenery. The carriage finally arrives at the massive gates of the majestic and sprawling white royal palace. The carriage rolls along the quiet capital streets as the first stars begin to appear. Anna reflects on her early morning habit developed during her many long years of servitude. In a memory, Anna works tirelessly as a maid, beginning her duties well before sunrise. She sighs quietly, realizing it has been 5 long years since she last visited the capital. Get in. The carriage jolts along the cobblestones as Anna reflects on leaving her sister's estate. The footman announces their arrival at Prince Silvio Sirio's estate, catching Anna's quiet, thoughtful attention. Clack, the carriage door opens as the footman offers his hand to help her out. Anna is awestruck by the sheer beauty and grandeur of the landscape surrounding the majestic estate. Standing before massive golden gates, Anna stares at the majestic royal palace in total silent disbelief. The footman bows politely and takes his leave, leaving her alone at the grand palace gates. Rattle. As the carriage pulls away, Anna realizes her habit brought her here much too early. She panics slightly, realizing it is far too early for anyone to come out and greet. Shivering in the morning chill, Anna worries that nobody will notice she has finally arrived yet. She contemplates the upcoming marriage to Silvio, a man she barely knows from her distant past. Memory fragments show a piano recital, her only brief encounter with him at the Noble Academy. A young Anna plays the piano before a silent audience during a long-forgotten academy school event. At 15, she noticed a young boy watching her performance with unusually focused and earnest eyes. Though she was merely an opening act, the blonde boy listened with genuine and quiet sincerity. Anna assumes he likely forgot their trivial meeting, given how many years have passed since then. Deciding to make the best of it, she plans to explore the area while she waits. Birds begin to chirp loudly in the morning sun as she walks through the lush gardens. The chirping grows surprisingly aggressive, drawing her attention to a commotion behind the nearby garden bushes. Startled by a sharp cry, Anna wonders what could be causing such a sudden loud disturbance. Peering through the dense leaves, Anna spots someone struggling with a flock of small, angry birds. A maid frantically swings her broom, desperate to chase away the birds swarming around her head. Recognizing the struggle, Anna recalls a similar experience from her own difficult days as a servant. She wonders if she should use magic to help, though her powers remain frustratingly weak currently. Visions of powerful mages appear as Anna reflects on her own inability to manifest magic well. An idea strikes as she reaches into her suitcase for a simple, non-magical, and clever solution. She pulls out a small piece of bread, hoping it will lure the birds away safely. Anna shouts to get the maid's attention, offering a distraction for the hungry and swarming birds. She tosses the breadcrumbs into the air with a determined, wide-reaching swing of her arm.
Tweet, the birds chirp happily as they dive toward the ground to feast on the bread.
Phew! Anna sighs with relief as the birds finally leave the terrified maid alone on path. The maid expresses her deep gratitude to the stranger who just saved her from the flock. A vision of flowers surrounds Anna as the maid gasps at her savior's radiant, noble appearance. Stunned by Anna's elegance, the maid can't help but marvel at how incredibly beautiful she is. A cluster of blue roses frames the scene as the maid is left completely breathless. Anna wonders if the maid's flattery is just a reaction to being saved from the birds. Noticing various banners and ribbons, Anna asks if the estate is preparing for a special party. The maid explains they are decorating for the arrival of the prince's future wife, the Saintess. She continues explaining that the birds were swarming the shiny decorations they were trying to hang. The maid thanks her again, unaware that the woman standing before her is actually the Saintess. Anna realizes the misunderstanding, but doesn't blame the maid for not recognizing her in simple attire. She looks down at her blue dress, knowing it is the nicest one she ever owned. Despite its sentimental value, Anna admits the dress looks clearly worn out and quite old now. The maid excitedly assumes the Saintess will be delighted with the effort put into the decorations. Anna smiles warmly, genuinely touched by the kind and enthusiastic welcome she is receiving in secret. The maid is suddenly taken aback, confused by something the woman in the blue dress said. A formal notification reveals that the silver-haired woman's full name is actually Anna Lindell. Surrounded by beautiful blue flowers, Anna gently reveals that she is the Saintess they are expecting. The maid is left in a state of utter shock, shouting a startled exclamation as Anna reveals her identity. Outside the Grand Palace, the maid's loud scream of disbelief echoes through the quiet morning air. Anna sits alone on a plush blue sofa in a lavishly decorated room, her gift box nearby. The maid giggles and asks her to wait for the young master, while Anna wishes for more casual treatment. Surrounded by shimmering elegance, Anna reflects on how she is still not used to such grand environments. Kacha! The door opens as Silvio enters and apologizes for keeping the Saintess waiting. The handsome blonde man introduces himself as Silvio, the first prince, and greets Anna by name. Silvio stands tall in his ornate white uniform, expressing his great pleasure in finally meeting her. Gazing at him, Anna recalls his handsome features from the past and is struck by his appearance. She finds him even more beautiful than the dazzling rumor suggested as he stands before her. Bowing politely, Anna returns the greeting and states that the honor is entirely hers. A sudden meow interrupts their formal introduction as a striped tail appears near the prince's feet. Silvio apologizes for the interruption and introduces Mikey, his male cat, who is currently agitated. Mikey the cat lets out an aggressive hiss while glaring up at Silvio's boots. Silvio gently lifts the cat, explaining how he rescued the weakened animal from the garden. Silvio invites Anna to have a seat and kindly asks if she has a liking for cats. Anna confirms she likes them, recalling how she found comfort in garden strays during her servant days. She quickly catches herself, worried that mentioning her past as a servant will damage her dignity. Attempting to shift the focus, Anna presents the blue box she brought as a formal greeting gift. Silvio smiles warmly as he accepts the gift while Mikey the cat leaps away from him. Close-up hands carefully begin to lift the lid of the elegant blue gift box. Anna lets out a cry of alarm as a sudden blinding flash of light erupts from the box. Silvio is caught off guard by the explosion, wondering aloud what in the world is happening. A bright, disorienting light and thick smoke fill the room as the trap is triggered. The smoke continues to billow out rapidly, obscuring everything in the lavish reception room. Silvio coughs in the thick haze while Anna stands frozen in the smoke-filled grand hall. Anna watches in horror as she realizes that the gift box is actively emitting smoke. Squinting through the haze, Anna struggles to see as the smoke becomes completely blinding. Cough, cough! Silvio is bent over and choking on the irritating smoke coming from the gift. Worried for his safety, Anna shouts the prince's name as she reaches out through the fog. Anna realizes this was Melissa's humiliating trap and calls out to Silvio in a panic. Carlos, a black-haired man in a suit, bursts into the room asking if everyone is safe. Carlos immediately orders the maid to open the windows to clear the thick, choking smoke. Adjusting his glasses, Carlos looks toward the pair and asks if they are both unharmed. Silvio stands beside Anna and reassures Carlos that they are both perfectly fine. Carlos observes the situation and concludes that there is no poison involved in the prank. With a stern expression, Carlos demands an explanation for the meaning behind the smoking box. Overwhelmed by guilt, Anna offers her deepest apologies for the chaos the gift caused. Silvio steps in and surprisingly claims that he was the one who set up the prank. Anna is stunned into silence by Silvio's lie as she looks up at him in confusion. She wonders why he would take the blame for a dangerous gift they only just encountered. Anna reflects that it would be normal for Silvio to be furious with her for the danger. She worries that he might use this incident as a reason to break off their engagement. Carlos sighs in frustration, wondering how he is supposed to manage the eccentric prince's behavior. Carlos gestures toward Anna while Silvio laughs and tells him there is no need for anger. Silvio shrugs off the scolding, insisting that he should be allowed to act freely in his home. Silvio points out that everyone is safe, much to the visible annoyance of the stern butler. Anna suddenly gasps in realization and points out that Mikey the cat has disappeared. Silvio calmly reassures her that the commotion likely just scared Mikey into a nearby hiding spot. Despite his kindness, Anna remains deeply distressed, believing the entire situation is her fault. Anna offers a sincere apology, but Silvio is confused as to why she is so upset. Silvio reassures the worried woman that the cat will surely return on its own soon. Silvio smiles warmly while holding a finger to his lips, asking her to keep a secret. Anna remains distressed, feeling that she cannot simply ignore the consequences of the incident. A vision appears of the blonde prince holding Mikey against a backdrop of soft pink flowers. Anna reflects on how the cat ran away because of her actions immediately after being found. Worry overcomes Anna as she realizes this mistake could be seen as a capital offense. Anna imagines the cat fleeing the estate in terror, lost and alone in the distance. Tightening her grip on her dress, Anna firmly resolves that she cannot accept the current situation. Anna announces her firm intention to go out and search for the cat immediately. Ignoring Silvio's calls, Anna turns and sprints away through the Grand Palace corridors. The Grand Palace hallway remains silent and empty as the silver-haired woman runs past. Panting heavily, Anna calls out from Mikey while searching through the vast ornate rooms. Anna realizes she should have checked the box herself instead of blaming Melissa for the prank. Determined to find the cat, Anna hurries down the stairs to search the lower floors. While Anna searches, the cat is shown huddled and shivering alone in a dark corner. Anna declares she will find him, even if it means losing her status as a Saintess. Visions of Melissa and a broken bottle appear as Anna resolves to find the cat. Clenching her dress, Anna declares that her only priority right now is finding Mikey. Anna's eyes widen in shock as a mysterious, brilliant light begins to shine from her hand. She stares in disbelief at her glowing palms, wondering what is happening to her. Anna wonders if this radiance is the same holy light from the Saintess ceremony. A magical vision shows Mikey hiding under some bushes covered in stray leaves. Anna realizes that the light is showing her exactly where the cat is hiding. She recognizes the location as the garden she visited earlier that same morning. Confused by the sudden manifestation of power, Anna knows she must go and check. A focused thought confirms her resolve to find the cat at the garden location. The scene shifts to the ornate golden fence surrounding the estate's sprawling garden grounds. Anna arrives at the garden gates, scanning the area with a look of intense worry. Shock registers on Anna's face as she spots something small moving near the garden wall. She finally discovers the cat, who is huddled safely near a wall of pink flowers. Mikey looks up with wide, cautious eyes as Anna slowly approaches his hiding spot. Anna beckons the cat with a gentle smile, telling him there is nothing to fear anymore. The silver-haired woman and the cat lock eyes in a moment of quiet mutual understanding. Surrounded by beautiful roses, Mikey steps forward and affectionately nuzzles against Anna's hand. Anna lets out a sigh of profound relief as she finally holds the cat in her arms. Anna reflects on the impossibility of magic occurring without a proper incantation. She wonders if her latent Saintess powers finally awakened in response to her desperate prayer. Silvio appears in the garden, looking surprised to see Anna already holding his cat. Silvio wonders to himself if Anna's magic truly activated because of her sincere prayer. Meow! Mikey chirps happily from Anna's arms as she looks back at the approaching prince. Silvio's boots walk through the grass as he expresses surprise at the cat's behavior. He admits that the cat seems to have found her before he could find him. The blonde prince continues walking across the garden, his dark boots moving through the grass. Standing before her, Silvio expresses his great relief that Mikey's safe and sound. Silvio reaches out with both hands, intending to take the cat back from Anna's arms. Hiss! Mikey reacts with sudden aggression, baring his teeth and glaring at the blonde prince. Silvio smiles awkwardly, noting the cat has grown more fond of Anna than of himself. Anna offers her apologies again, feeling guilty for endangering both the prince and his cat. Silvio waves her worries away, insisting that he does not blame her for the incident. Anna stands with the cat while the blonde prince looks on in the garden. Questioning his motives, the silver-haired woman asks why he chose to protect her earlier. Reflecting on the smoke incident, she admits the gift she brought was the source. Silvio reaches out and pets the cat, who appears somewhat annoyed by the attention. The prince questions if someone else pressured her into bringing that specific gift box. Startled by his perception, Anna asks how he knew, while Silvio cites her simple attire. Silvio explains the brand new gift stood out as unnatural compared to her own modest clothing. Clasping the cat closer, the silver-haired woman silently acknowledges that his sharp observation is correct. Silvio mentions her morning kindness to a maid, refusing to believe she would plan pranks. Gentle pink petals drift through the soft blue sky, marking a quiet moment of peace. The two stand together among falling petals, the atmosphere between them growing noticeably warmer. Mesmerized by his expression, Anna thinks about how truly dazzling his warm smile appears. Gazing at the blue flowers, she realizes his beauty extends far beyond just his physical appearance. Silvio continues to look at her with a gentle, sincere expression that radiates kindness. The prince jokes that he must be a villain since the culprit hasn't charmed him. Silvio's serious thoughts contrast with his demeanor as he plans to punish the prank's mastermind. Turning the conversation back to the incident, he asks if she knows the culprit's identity. Looking down, the silver-haired woman admits her younger sister Melissa is likely behind the scheme. Touching his chin, Silvio recalls that he and Melissa were once classmates at school. He deduces that Melissa's actions stem from deep-seated jealousy, leaving the woman visibly shocked. Silvio explains Melissa likely envies her future as queen while recalling their shared school days. Clenching his fist, the prince expresses his long-standing distaste for Melissa's cunning and ill intent. With a chillingly dark expression, Silvio considers imposing a punishment far more severe than suspension. Breaking the tension, a loud ah-ha-ha sounds as Silvio finds amusement in their strange situation. Laughing along while holding the cat, Anna gently disagrees with his assessment of the situation. Silvio observes her closely, noting that she is entirely different from the negative rumors he heard. A sense of peace washes over her as she reflects on her heart feeling lighter. A close-up reveals the prince's soft, genuine smile as he watches her find some relief. Suddenly, the blonde prince begins to lower himself toward the grass before the silver-haired woman. Panicked, she warns him that his fine white uniform will surely get dirty on the ground. Ignoring the dirt, Silvio kneels and takes her hand while she continues to hold Mikey. He holds her hand delicately, his touch firm yet gentle as they share a private moment. Wide-eyed and blushing, the silver-haired woman is frozen by the prince's bold and romantic gesture. Among the blooming blue and white flowers, Silvio leans down and kisses her hand respectfully. The scene transitions to the grand interior of the palace, beneath the glow of ornate chandeliers. As a maid takes the cat, Silvio begins to ask if she recalls a past meeting. He asks if she remembers their encounter at a musical concert many years in the past. Shocked by his memory, she asks if he truly remembered, and he confirms with a smile. Silvio explains that her warm musical performance touched his heart more deeply than any other. A vision of the past shows her playing the piano, looking more beautiful than anyone else. Blushing at the compliment, she looks down and finds the memory of that day truly beautiful. A quick tap sounds as she asks if he is confusing her with her sister Melissa. Silvio beams with a radiant, joyful smile, confirming that he is certain it was always her. Feeling the sincerity in his words, the woman realizes he isn't just offering empty royal flattery. Standing tall, the prince confesses that he has wanted to meet her again for a long time. By the garden window, he admits he was always curious about her and surprised by their engagement. Silvio declares his desire to give her everything, causing a sudden, quick thump sounding in her chest. Clenching her dress, she reflects on the new and frustrating sensation of her heart racing fast. Recalling her past departure with a suitcase, she thinks about how she never expected such love. Melissa's cruel face appears in a flashback, mocking the idea that anyone could ever love her. Anna stands with her suitcase, reflecting on how her life is finally starting to feel different. She gazes at Silvio, acknowledging him as the ray of light that changed her dark world. Their connection blossoms among the blue and white flowers, marking the start of a hopeful bond. Anna wonders if it is truly acceptable for someone once considered a leftover to seize happiness. Reaching toward a brilliant radiance, she starts to believe that spring can arrive at any time. With a sudden quick thump sounding, Anna blushes deeply as Silvio gently tilts her chin upward. Bright morning light shines over the estate as birds chirp in the peaceful gardens outside. The heavy ticking of a grandfather clock indicates that it is still very early in the morning. Anna sits alone at the massive dining table, the silence of the room amplifying her weight. Rising from her seat, she offers a polite greeting as the morning's first visitors arrive. Silvio approaches her across the ornate rug, noting that she's been waiting for quite a while. Bowing her head, she bashfully denies that her early arrival was due to any particular excitement. Silvio smiles warmly, reassuring her that he was also looking forward to their morning meal together.
The two sit at the long sunlit table, the vastness of the room emphasizing their togetherness.
Blushing, the silver-haired woman thinks about how genuinely kind and thoughtful the blonde prince truly is. From a distance, the massive estate stands proud as several days passed during her royal stay. Sitting alone, Anna reflects on how her body still hasn't adjusted to this new luxurious life. She recalls her restless morning, her old instincts making it difficult to fully relax and settle in. Bathed in moonlight, she lies asleep in the guest room during the quietest hours of the night. Her eyes snap open suddenly, her internal habits waking her well before the sun begins to rise. Sitting up with a heavy sigh, she realizes she has been visited by the same dream again. She is haunted by nightmares of her grueling past, constantly cleaning and managing the palace's many needs. Looking out at the dark sky, she wishes for a way to occupy her time before sunrise.
She considers helping the maids with their chores, but knows it would damage her reputation as Saintess.
After 30 minutes of waiting and boredom, Silvio's concerned question finally brings her back to the present. Startled, Anna quickly insists she is perfectly fine despite her earlier period of aimless and quiet waiting. With a sudden, quick giku sounding, she is surprised to learn that breakfast will be arriving momentarily. The double doors open and a maid enters, announcing that the morning's first meal has arrived. A steaming tray is brought in featuring a variety of dishes that smell incredibly fresh and delicious. Staring at the table, Anna is visibly overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the extravagant breakfast feast. While Silvio praises the kitchen's quality, she finds the luxury of the meal to be truly unbelievable. He highlights the personal chef's daily dedication and urges her to try the exquisite artisanal hams. Enthusiastically encouraged by his radiant smile, she prepares to begin eating the massive meal before her. Framed by golden roses, she realizes there is simply no way she can refuse his heartfelt hospitality. Asked about the flavor, she confirms everything is delicious despite the daunting amount of food provided. Silvio insists she shouldn't hold back, making her feel obligated to finish every dish he prepared. He offers her homemade sausages next, further piling more food onto her already heavily laden plate. Panic rises as another serving of bread is brought out at the prince's specific and generous request. Her eyes widen in silent shock as she realizes her physical limits are being severely tested. While a maid offers even more bread, Anna despairs over her stomach feeling like it might burst. Forced by her sense of duty, she continues to chew despite the growing discomfort and physical strain. A painful escapes her as she suddenly chokes, causing Silvio to cry out in frantic alarm. Fading into darkness, she apologizes to the prince, feeling unworthy of any title beyond that of leftover. Slumped in her chair amidst a dark void, she is overcome by her own deep-seated self-doubt. Shimmering light particles descend upon the sleeping woman as she lies unconscious in the moonlit bed. With a sudden, quick piku sounding, her hand twitches as she makes a soft and groggy moan. Opening her eyes, she looks around in a daze, wondering exactly where she has ended up. Silvio hovers over her with an expression of intense relief, noting that she has finally woken up. Sitting up with a start, she immediately begins to apologize for the scene she caused earlier. Silvio cuts her off by gently taking her hands in his, looking at her with sincere concern. Silvio bows his head while offering the silver-haired woman a very sincere apology. The blonde prince admits he was simply too excited to share a morning meal together. He explains that his overenthusiasm unfortunately forced her to push past her physical limits. Silvio reveals the doctor's warning about the severe strain of suddenly increasing one's food. Blushing, Anna quickly argues that she was the one who pushed herself far too hard. Silvio reassures her, saying he is mostly relieved that she has woken up safely. The blonde prince asks if she feels any pain, specifically noting headaches or nausea. In a glowing vision, Anna reflects on how she rejected the prince's incredible kindness. Concerned by her silence, Silvio calls her name while watching her with a worried expression. Tears stream down Anna's face as she acknowledges how remarkably gentle he is to her. Silvio asks if she is hurting, but she tearfully denies feeling any physical pain. The silver-haired woman smiles through her tears, insisting to the prince that she is fine. Silvio reaches out and tenderly wipes away the falling tears from her reddened cheek. Watching his kind face, Anna feels a growing desire to understand him more deeply. The blonde prince continues to hold her face gently as they share an emotional moment. Trembling, Anna speaks his name softly while his warm hand remains pressed against her face. Silvio watches her with an expression of intense care and deep-seated concern for her. A close-up view focuses on the intricate blue pendant pinned to the silver-haired woman's dress. The blonde prince blinks in surprise, letting out a soft sound of confusion at her. He asks for clarification, wondering exactly what she meant by her sudden and unexpected statement. A voice from outside asks for permission to enter, breaking their quiet and private moment. With a sudden quick click sounding, two maids enter the room to apologize profusely. They tearfully explain they only wanted her to eat her fill and feel terrible. Anna beams at them, saying their thoughtful consideration alone makes her feel very happy. Overcome with emotion, the two maids gaze at the silver-haired woman with sparkling eyes. Eagerly, they ask Anna about her favorite and disliked foods to help with future planning. Silvio smiles as Anna bashfully admits she enjoys all foods despite her frugal past. Bright morning light shines over the massive royal estate as a brand new day begins. With a rhythmic, steady tap sounding, Anna walks down the hallway toward the breakfast room. With a sudden quick click sounding, she enters, reflecting on yesterday's mistakes and early arrival. Silvio is already at the table, his attention focused on reading the morning's newspaper. Approaching with a greeting, Anna is surprised to find the blonde prince waiting so early. With a sudden quick click sounding, the maids arrive to serve the morning's updated menu. Trays of fresh food are presented, and Anna finds the light meal truly unbelievable. The maids explain they adjusted the menu to better suit her specific health and preferences. They mention prioritizing vegetables over heavy food, having consulted with the prince about her needs. Silvio apologizes if the changes were unnecessary, while Anna watches him with a surprised expression.
He observes her closely, noting that she appears to have struggled with eating for long.
Silvio shares his concern that she hasn't been eating properly or enough for some time.
Anna is shocked by his insight, reflecting on her incredibly frugal diet from her past.
A memory shows young Reterio giving her sweets, the only luxury in her dark life. She thinks about how the thought of wasting such delicious food makes her heart ache. Looking down, she acknowledges the painful reality of her body's current weakened physical state. A vision depicts her slumped in a chair, emphasizing her body's inability to handle more. Anna reflects on her internal struggle, believing that her difficulties are entirely her own problem.
Silvio sits silently at the table, watching her with a calm and thoughtful expression.
She worries that the prince must prefer his usual, more luxurious breakfast options instead. Anna asks if he has official duties at the palace to attend to after breakfast. As the maids leave, they encourage her to snack often instead of forcing large meals. Silvio looks visibly surprised, repeating the idea of having to force oneself with confusion. Anna realizes she is pushing herself far too hard just to match Silvio's dietary needs. Silvio apologizes for his overenthusiasm, explaining he only wanted to continue having breakfast with her. The blonde prince believes food tastes much better when they can share the same meal together. He looks at her with a gentle expression, insisting there is no need to apologize anymore. With a bright smile, Silvio encourages her to eat before the morning meal gets cold. Anna recalls when Silvio previously knelt before her, reminding her of his constant and humble kindness. The silver-haired woman blushes deeply, overwhelmed by the blonde prince's incredibly sincere and thoughtful nature.
She thinks to herself that if anyone is truly kind, it is undoubtedly the blonde prince.
Watching him across the table, she reflects on how he seems almost too good for this world. Silvio asks if she found any particular dishes to her liking during their morning meal together. Anna highlights the creamed spinach, and Silvio happily notes that he also quite liked that dish. Framed by white roses, Anna beams with a radiant smile as she shares this peaceful moment. A close-up view focuses on Silvio's eyes as they soften with a warm and affectionate gaze. Silvio continues to speak while Anna listens intently to his plans for her royal stay. Touching her cheek, the silver-haired woman reflects on the pleasant and quiet morning they shared. Anna thinks about how sharing a table and pleasant conversation was completely unimaginable until very recently. She recalls her dark past, eating minimal scraps alone in a cold and dimly lit room. Silvio sits before her with a gentle expression, framed by a background of blooming blue flowers. She realizes that such trivial things bring her a profound sense of happiness thanks to him. Bright morning light shines over the grand and peaceful mansion as a brand new day begins. Later, Anna sits alone in a quiet room, elegantly drinking tea in the soft morning sunlight. With a sudden soft sigh sounding, Anna realizes she simply has far too much free time. She feels unsettled by her new lifestyle, recalling her busy days cleaning as a palace servant. Standing by the window, Anna looks out at the gardens with a thoughtful and bored expression. Silvio explains the wedding is in a month, emphasizing the grand scale of their upcoming ceremony. He reveals his father's health has worsened, delaying her formal introduction to the king and queen. He asks her to focus on engagement preparations and her training as a Saintess for now. Silvio reassures her, saying her main priority is simply getting used to life in the mansion. Anna wonders about the king's health while questioning what Saintess training will actually involve for her. Deciding to occupy her time, she heads to the library to help organize the massive collection. While browsing, Anna pulls a thick book from the shelf and begins to read it curiously. Her eyes widen in surprise as she discovers an interesting passage regarding the role of Saintesses. The book details the sacred history and various miraculous powers expected of a royal Saintess. Illustrations show a past Saintess using magic to revive plants and make heavy objects float effortlessly. Anna finds a page containing a specific magical chant meant to help a Saintess manifest power. She looks at her hands, reflecting on the special magical power that now resides within her.
She recalls using her power to find the cat, Mikey, confirming her potential as a Saintess.
However, she worries that was a coincidence since she hasn't managed to use magic since then. Looking at her hand, she wonders if a chant would allow her to control magic at will. Despite her curiosity, Anna hesitates, her expression clouded by a sense of caution and deep doubt. She recalls Silvio's instruction to prioritize settling in, feeling he wants her to rest for now.
She decides not to use magic recklessly, fearing she might cause trouble for everyone in the mansion.
Anna encounters a maid in the hallway and offers a polite greeting to the busy worker. She informs the woman she will be taking a walk around the estate to explore further. The silver-haired woman walks through a grand hallway featuring many large windows and ornate chandeliers. She stops suddenly, her attention caught by a distant conversation between two of the mansion's maids. Two maids look distressed while holding a torn cloth, worried they lack the staff for repairs. Approaching with concern, Anna asks if something has happened to cause them such distress and worry. With a sudden, quick gasp sounding, the maid jumps in shock upon realizing Lady Anna is watching. Anna looks toward the torn fabric, wondering if she has found a way to be helpful. Anna notices the torn fabric and recognizes it as belonging to the blonde prince, Silvio. The maids explain they accidentally tore Silvio's favorite jacket on a branch while doing laundry. They describe how the young master deeply treasures this specific jacket, wearing it quite frequently.
Anna listens as the maids express their deep guilt over damaging such an important item.
A vision illustrates how high-ranking nobles typically view formal clothes as disposable status symbols.
Anna reflects on how her own difficult past necessitated wearing the same clothes for years.
She is moved that Silvio, despite his status, values his possessions with such sincerity. Determined to help, Anna surprises the hesitant maid by asking to borrow the damaged jacket. Framed by golden roses, the silver-haired woman offers a warm smile to ease their worries. Terrified of her getting hurt, the maids insist the repair work is their sole responsibility. With a sudden soft sigh sounding, Anna gently tells them there is no need to worry. The scene shifts to a large, quiet guest bedroom within the sprawling royal mansion. A wooden box sits nearby, filled with various colorful spools of thread and sewing needles. Working with the sudden, rhythmic tap sounding, Anna repairs the jacket with incredible speed and skill. The maids are stunned by the beautiful stitching, wondering if it is a Saintess' divine power. Anna recalls harsh past as a servant, where she mastered such skills through endless chores. Eager to be useful, she kindly offers to help the staff with their other daily tasks. With a sudden quick click sounding, a third maid enters as the others refuse Anna's help. Anna looks up with a curious expression, wondering what new problem has just been introduced. Bright morning light filters through the grand mansion's interior as the busy morning routine continues. A collection of images shows the messy paw prints and spilled vases left by resident cats. Now dressed in his simple maid's outfit, Anna learns about the cats responsible for the mess. The maids explain that Silvio is incredibly tolerant of the animals, never blaming the staff. They apologize for letting Anna help, but she insists her restless free time makes this enjoyable. With a sudden soft sigh sounding, she admits she is simply happy to assist the household. One of the maids is visibly moved to tears by Anna's humble and hard-working nature. As they work, the maids encourage Anna to drop formal speech since they are friends. With a sudden sharp gasp sounding, a maid slips on the stairs while Anna watches in horror. A large panicked warning rings out as the woman begins to fall backward down the steps. Reaching out, Anna desperately tries to help as the terrified maid tumbles toward the hard floor. Remembering the chant, Anna begins to pray to the heavens to save the falling woman. A vision depicts Anna's hand tracing the ancient magical chant she recently read in the library. Anna shouts the sacred chant, begging for the power of levitation to manifest through her hands. A burst of brilliant light erupts as the falling maid is suddenly suspended safely in midair. With a sudden intense hum sounding, Anna channels her magical energy to maintain the levitation spell. Floating weightlessly, the shocked maid lets out a cry of disbelief at the glowing magical aura.
The silver-haired woman keeps her arms raised, guiding the floating woman safely away from the stairs.
With a sudden heavy thud sounding, Anna collapses to her knees, gasping from the sudden exhaustion. The other maids cheer in amazement, witnessing the incredible and undeniable power of a true Saintess. They rush toward the silver-haired woman, thanking her profusely for saving their friend from injury. Pale and trembling, Anna smiles weakly while expressing her relief that everyone is safe and sound. With a sudden soft gasp sounding, Anna's vision fades as she loses consciousness from magical overexertion. A mysterious voice reflects that magic responds with more strength whenever a wish is truly powerful. Warm evening light bathes the ornate ceiling and chandelier as some time quietly passes by. With a sudden soft groan sounding, Anna begins to wake up in a large comfortable bed. She opens her eyes slowly, hearing a calm and unfamiliar voice announce that she has awakened. A tall, serious man wearing glasses and a formal suit watches her with a piercing gaze. He expresses relief at her safety, noting that any injury to her would be a disaster. Anna looks at him thoughtfully, realizing she recognizes this man from the prince's previous descriptions. Silvio's childhood caretaker and trusted confidant, Carlos Popolo, introduces himself as he stands before her. Carlos asks Anna how she is feeling after her sudden and unexpected collapse. Still lying in the large bed, Anna reflects on how incredibly heavy her body feels. Carlos suggests the weight is because of someone else, while Anna lets out a confused cry. Curled up in content, the calico cat Mikey offers a happy expression amidst a playful background. Anna pets the small cat, realizing the heavy weight she felt was simply Mikey resting on her. Anna asks about the maid's safety and the current time, learning it is evening and everyone is fine. Carlos explains he took over the watch after the previous maid was called away for other duties. When Anna expresses her relief, Carlos sternly tells her the situation is far from being all right. He lectures her, stating the Saintess must not act recklessly or dress in a common maid's uniform. With a sudden sharp gasp sounding, Anna realizes in horror that she is still wearing the outfit. Looking ashamed, the small, silver-haired woman promises to be more careful as Carlos continues his firm lecture. Carlos warns her that imitating servants and using her mana so recklessly is strictly out of the question. He emphasizes that she must be a symbol for the people while mentioning her past household and background. Watching the serious man, Anna reflects on how his lecturing style is identical to how he treats Silvio. With a sudden loud yah sounding, the doors fly open, scaring Mikey as Anna watches in total shock. Carlos turns his head toward the entrance, noting that the person has arrived much earlier than expected. Standing in the doorway, the blonde Prince Silvio apologizes for frightening the cat with his sudden entrance. The silver-haired woman watches with wide eyes as the prince approaches the bed with a worried expression. Silvio fusses over the confused woman while Carlos watches the chaotic and emotional scene from the side. With a sudden heavy breath sounding, Silvio hunches over in exhaustion as Anna asks what has happened. Silvio admits he was terrified for her safety and expresses deep relief at seeing her awake and well. Anna looks at him with a stunned expression, wondering how he could have known about her collapse. The blonde prince reveals that Carlos sent a messenger, prompting him to rush back to the mansion immediately.
Anna asks if he abandoned his official royal duties, her expression clouded by a sense of deep guilt.
Silvio tells her not to worry, explaining he finished his tasks the moment he heard the alarming news. He reveals he didn't even take the time to change out of his formal uniform before rushing back. A close-up view focuses on Anna's face as she notices the prince is visibly sweating from his efforts. She realizes he ran the entire way back for her sake, questioning why he would go so far. Anna reflects that despite their upcoming marriage, true romantic love has not yet blossomed between them both. She wonders if his care is merely a result of his kindness rather than any deeper personal feelings. She feels the need to apologize for the trouble, yet a different emotion begins to stir within her. Seeing her hesitation, the blonde prince asks what is bothering her as he watches her with concern. Looking up, the silver-haired woman offers a sincere thank you for his genuine worry and care for her gentle concern. Framed by white flowers, Anna beams with a radiant smile as she admits his return made her happy. Silvio's eyes widen in surprise, a faint blush appearing on his cheeks as he processes her heartfelt words. He smiles warmly, telling her that hearing those words makes his frantic run back home entirely worth it. Anna reflects on the profound impact of having someone care for her with such sincerity and dedication. She continues to think about the situation, even if no special romantic feelings were intended behind his actions. Carlos intervenes, mentioning how she used Hermana to save a maid and help the household staff. Feeling the weight of his earlier lecture, Anna promises to avoid helping the staff unprompted from now on. Silvio counters by telling her she should feel free to do exactly as she pleases without any hesitation. He insists that he should be the one thanking her for her selfless and helpful actions today. Silvio continues to speak kindly, noting that the servants were truly grateful for her timely and selfless assistance. Carlos shouts in frustration while Anna worries that her actions might cause more trouble for the household later. Silvio promises to always rush back to her side, welcoming her to cause as much trouble as needed. He asks Carlos to accept this and tells Anna not to push herself to the point of collapse. With a sudden, tired sigh sounding, Carlos admits he cannot stop the prince and considers the matter settled. Anna watches with a surprised expression, feeling overwhelmed by the prince's unwavering support and kindness. Silvio reaches out and gently takes her hand, encouraging her to relax and be herself in the mansion. Framed by white roses, Silvio offers a radiant smile while reminding her that this is now her home. The silver-haired woman looks up with a soft, surprised expression as her eyes widen slightly. Seated together on the bed, the blonde prince holds her hands while she quietly agrees. Silvio accepts her response with a gentle look, the soft glow of the room framing them. A close-up view focuses on their intertwined hands, highlighting the warmth and support between them. With a sudden soft rustle sounding, Silvio stands to leave, announcing they will meet for dinner. The blonde prince walks away, calling out to Carlos Popolo as he prepares to exit. Carlos casts one final serious look toward Anna as she watches them leave from the bed. The two men walk down a grand blue-tone mansion hallway beneath high ceilings and ornate windows. Carlos bluntly tells Silvio he is far too lenient when it comes to the silver-haired woman. A flashback depicts a young Carlos guiding a small, cheerful Silvio through a field of flowers. Carlos recalls decades of nagging the prince, who used to listen while holding a small cat. Back in the present, Silvio thinks to himself that he cannot follow Carlos's advice this time. The blonde prince insists that the current situation is perfectly fine just the way it is. Carlos stops and questions the prince's reasoning, unable to make sense of his sudden protective nature. He warns that allowing Anna to work and use magic so recklessly risks another physical collapse. Silvio continues walking, expressing his firm belief that Anna will learn to exercise proper self-restraint. The man with glasses pauses, preparing to voice a much deeper and more troubling observation. Carlos remarks that Anna's behavior suggests she was never truly raised in a distinguished noble family. He reflects on how she seems to be hiding the reality of the life she led. Silvio stops walking, noting that there is no doubt her past existence was incredibly stifling. A vision depicts Anna surrounded by thorns connected to the influence of her sister, Melissa. Carlos counters this by stating that she simply appears to him as a very independent woman. Silvio looks thoughtful, suggesting that Anna has been hiding her true personality since her first arrival. He recalls how she forces herself into roles, like being an older sister or a Saintess. Memories show her striving to act exactly as those rigid social roles and expectations dictate. Carlos adjusts his glasses, asking if Silvio truly believes Anna is hiding who she really is. The blonde prince admits it is only a prediction as they continue through the silent mansion. He points out that while public performance is expected, she continues the act even at home. A regal image of Silvio in formal attire underscores his point about the burden of roles. Silvio explains he won't stop her current behavior, fearing she would revert to being timid. A close-up focuses on Silvio's determined blue eye as he reflects on his deep-seated motivations. A shimmering flashback reveals the first time a young Silvio ever saw Anna playing the piano. He recalls that in terms of pure technical skill, other performers were considered far superior. He notes that her own siblings were much better at playing scores exactly as they were written. Watching her from the audience, the young prince felt a sudden, deep blush warm his cheeks. The two children appear in a dreamlike void, representing the start of their long, intertwined history. With a sudden soft click sounding, the scene shifts to the ornate details of a grand ceiling. With a sudden low murmur sounding, Anna stands amidst a crowd of blurred gas at a party. The young prince approached her with a bright, wide-eyed expression of total wonder and admiration. Framed by golden light and flowers, the young Anna offered a polite and graceful curtsy. Silvio reflects that her voice was gentle and subdued, yet possessed a clear and underlying strength. He looks back with a blush, realizing that moment was likely his very first experience with love. The flashback ends as Silvio wishes for Anna to finally remain as she truly wants to be. Silvio stares ahead with a serious expression, thinking about how he wants her to be herself. Morning light illuminates a grand empty office filled with books and a large ornate desk. Carlos assists the prince in changing out of his formal royal uniform into more comfortable clothing. Silvio remarks that he and Anna are actually quite similar in many of their personal struggles. The blonde prince turns away as Carlos prepares to help him finish dressing for the coming evening. With a sudden tired sigh sounding, Carlos notes that the prince is a truly peculiar person. Silvio offers a small, satisfied smile as he adjusts his shirt, feeling content with his decision. Silvio leaves Anna in Carlos's care as he prepares to depart for his royal duties. The serious man with glasses acknowledges the order with a formal and quiet understanding. The blonde prince looks away, a soft and peaceful expression gracing his handsome features. Carlos bows deeply as Silvio walks through the ornate double doors of the mansion. A close-up view captures Silvio's determined and focused gaze as he sets out alone. Framed by light and flowers, a memory of Anna smiling radiates warmth and deep affection. Silvio walks through the grand sunlit hallways, certain that his feelings will never change. The scene shifts to the silent blue-toned interior of the mansion as night finally falls. Secluded in the shadows of her room, the silver-haired woman stands in quiet contemplation. Anna looks downward, her expression clouded by a mix of confusion and lingering melancholy. She recalls Silvio's encouraging words, urging her to find happiness and freedom within her home. She wonders how long it has been since someone spoke to her with such kindness. Anna reflects on their age difference, finding it hard to believe he is years her junior. With a sudden soft thud sounding, Anna falls onto her bed, overwhelmed by his charisma. Morning light washes over the magnificent estate, signaling the start of a brand new day. Dressed in a simple maid's uniform, Anna joyfully sweeps the stone patio as another maid approaches. Anna kindly asks her co-worker to handle the backyard while she manages the front entrance. The brown-haired maid enthusiastically agrees and quickly rushes off to begin her assigned tasks. Watching her friend leave, Anna offers a gentle wave and a sincere, happy smile. She holds on to the memory of Silvio's support, finding strength in his unwavering acceptance of her. Silvio's radiant image appears in her mind, reminding her that the mansion is her home. Anna works alongside the other staff, diligently mopping the floors with a bright and determined spirit. A close-up view focuses on an ancient book filled with complex and detailed magical incantations. Standing in the garden, the silver-haired woman studies the tome to refine her magical abilities. Anna prepares herself, focusing her intent as she stands amidst the lush greenery and sunlight. Closing her eyes, she recites a humble prayer for the divine grace of holy power. With a sudden soft splash sounding, a shimmering orb of water forms between her outstretched palms. The magical liquid dances through the air, trailing light and sparkles as it flows gracefully. With a sudden quick patter sounding, the droplets fall gently onto the wilted plants below. A dry brown flower begins to glow and bloom, revitalized by the potent healing magic. Surrounded by the vibrant garden, Anna watches her creation with wide eyes in total amazement. She realizes the incredible potential of magic that can breathe life back into the natural world. Examining the small droplet, she wonders about the extent of the power she now possesses. She imagines the positive impact of her magic on the health and vitality of the staff. A smaller version of Anna reflects on the limitations and practical benefits of her holy water. Determined to improve, she clenches her fist and resolves to practice her craft much more. Anna hopes that by mastering her magic, she can finally be useful to Prince Silvio. She suddenly catches herself, realizing her thoughts are becoming increasingly preoccupied with the blonde prince. A faint blush colors her cheeks as she questions why she is so focused on him. Walking through the flowers, she ponders the true reason behind Silvio's immense and gentle kindness. With a sudden soft rustle sounding, she feels a presence nearby and stops in her tracks. Anna turns with a look of surprise, her hand instinctively rising to her chest in alarm. Carlos stands behind her in the golden light, his expression as serious and unreadable as ever. The butler bows politely, informing the silver-haired woman that the prince has finally returned home. He suggests concluding the day's work to prepare for dinner, and Anna quietly agrees to go. Carlos turns and begins to walk away, leading the way back toward the grand mansion. Anna watches him with a worried expression, fearing he might have overheard her personal musings. The man with glasses stops and turns his head, asking what she meant by her mutterings. He maintains a perfectly composed and stoic face, claiming complete ignorance of whatever she is thinking. Anna looks at him with a mix of frustration and suspicion, unsettled by his mysterious reaction. Standing among the flowers, Carlos remains stoic while Anna decides to let her lingering worries fade away. The afternoon sun filters through the mansion's grand windows, casting long shadows across the quiet, empty room. Over a formal dinner, Prince Silvio kindly asks the silver-haired woman how she spent her day today. Anna happily recounts her time cleaning and practicing magic, while the prince expresses his genuine satisfaction. Silvio mentions that she will soon begin attending formal lectures to further refine her unique magical abilities. Narration explains that a saint's magic is entirely unique, requiring specialized guidance to be fully mastered. The blonde prince explains that self-study has limits, making formal training customary for all designated saintesses. Anna reflects on the immense difficulty of controlling mana as she ponders his surprising and sudden proposal. She recalls her earlier practice session, surprised that her simple attempts resulted in a flourishing flower garden.
Silvio offers a warm smile, reminding her that the lessons will begin in just a few days.
With a determined look, the silver-haired woman acknowledges his request and agrees to prepare for her studies. A new morning arrives, bathing the majestic estate in soft light as the household begins its routines. Walking through the halls, Anna resolves to practice her magic as much as possible before lectures begin. A sudden, sharp shout sounding, Anna discovers several maids struggling to restrain a woman in a red dress. Melissa, the woman in red, furiously demands to see her former servant while questioning the maid's insolence. Stunned by the unexpected arrival, Anna calls out the name of her former mistress in pure disbelief. The maids rush to Anna's side as Melissa glares with eyes filled with pure, unadulterated hatred. Blaming Anna for her current suffering, Melissa throws a crumpled document and demands she take responsibility. Anna reads the decree sentencing Melissa to house arrest and a heavy fine for threatening the prince. When Anna questions why she would disrespect royalty, the woman in red screams at her to be silent. Melissa rants about her status as a duchess while reacting with shock to Anna's new royal titles. The woman in the red dress is consumed by a dark, jealous rage over Anna's marriage. Melissa refuses to accept the reality of the situation, her face twisting into a mask of fury. With a sudden, quick lunge sounding, Melissa reaches out to grab Anna as the silver-haired woman flinches. The intruder screams her refusal to acknowledge Anna as the Saintess or as Prince Silvio's legitimate wife. As Melissa attacks, Anna instinctively raises her hands to protect herself from the oncoming physical assault. With a sudden, loud hum sounding, a brilliant spark of light erupts from Anna's outstretched palms. A massive magic circle forms between them, manifesting a powerful barrier that repels the aggressive noblewoman. With a sudden sharp cry sounding, Melissa is blasted backward by the force of the holy protection. With a sudden heavy thud sounding, Melissa hits the floor hard while Anna watches in total shock. Silence falls over the grand hallway as everyone stares at the woman defeated by a single reflex. Anna stares at her trembling hands, wondering if that incredible display was truly her own latent power. Clenching her teeth in a silent snarl, Melissa reels from the shock of the magical confrontation. The woman in red demands to know if Anna is responsible for the sudden burst of magic. With a sudden joyous cheer sounding, the maids celebrate the magnificent display of their Lady Saintess power. The staff members are overcome with excitement, praising Anna for her incredible and truly masterful magical ability. Melissa looks on with wide, fearful eyes, finally realizing the true extent of the woman she insulted. With a sudden firm step sounding, a newcomer approaches and demands an explanation for the chaotic commotion. Prince Silvio arrives in a halo of light, prompting Anna to call his name in profound relief. Melissa looks up with a fake smile, crying out Silvio's name as she attempts to play the victim. Silvio coldly demands an explanation for her presence while she claims the disciplinary decree was a misunderstanding. The woman in red shamelessly insists the entire smoke bomb incident was Anna's fault and her doing. Pointing an accusing finger, Melissa insults Anna by calling her a spinster who is far past her prime. She continues her verbal assault, declaring that the silver-haired woman is completely unworthy of the prince's love. Silvio commands silence after Melissa claims she is the only one fit to be his royal wife. With a sudden sharp gasp sounding, the woman in red cowers beneath the prince's icy, terrifying gaze. Silvio seizes her hand, questioning how she can claim fitness for royalty after such a shameful display. His blue eyes glow with a dangerous intensity as he tells her not to make him laugh. Silvio declares he has no mercy for anyone who dares to insult his beloved and precious wife. The blonde prince orders his staff to throw the intruder out immediately as Carlos formally obeys. Carlos restrains a struggling Melissa as she begs the blonde prince to wait for her. With a sudden heavy bang sounding, the door shuts on Melissa as she cries out Silvio's name. Anna looks on in shock as Carlos addresses her formally by her name and royal title. Silvio stands before the large window, expressing his thoughts on the recent and sudden turn of events. The blonde prince admits his shock at Anna's display of magic, recalling the powerful shield she manifested. Surrounded by bright flowers, Silvio suggests that her latent power might exceed the need for formal lessons. Carlos approaches the group, formally announcing that the intruder has been escorted away from the mansion. Bowing low, the butler offers his sincere apologies for failing to stop the woman's uninvited entrance. He explains that his response was delayed due to his responsibilities with a visiting apothecary earlier today. Anna raises her hands dismissively, insisting that the burden of the apology should fall on her instead. She looks at Carlos with concern, asking if he is perhaps feeling unwell after the day's stress. Adjusting his glasses, Carlos calmly denies any issue and thanks the silver-haired woman for her kind concern. He directs the servants back to work while reminding the prince of his own official royal duties. A grand and delicious meal is served, glistening under the lights of the mansion's formal dining room. Anna looks down at her plate, apologizing once more for the trouble caused by her former mistress. Silvio tells her to stop apologizing, stating that he is the one who should ask for forgiveness. He explains that he didn't want to ruin their wedding celebration with a more severe legal punishment. His expression darkens as he admits he should have been far harsher if Melissa intended to harm her. Anna looks worried while Silvio remains firm, a chibi version of her shivering at his intense aura. He offers a warm and reassuring smile, telling her that she has no reason to worry anymore. Anna remains silent, looking away as she processes the prince's protective and deeply serious declaration. The quiet of night settles over the mansion, with moonlight illuminating the tall and ornate windows. Lying in her bed, Anna reflects on the incredible power of the Saintess she recently discovered within. A close-up of her purple eye reveals her deep focus as she contemplates her new reality.
She recalls Melissa's furious refusal to accept her as the Saintess or as Silvio's legitimate wife.
The memory of her former mistress's tearful and desperate screams haunts her thoughts in the silence. Clenching her fists, the silver-haired woman thinks of Melissa and the complicated past they both share. Anna resolves to face her challenges directly instead of relying solely on the prince's constant protection. With a sudden steady clip-clop sounding, a carriage travels along the path toward the majestic castle. Seated before a mirror, Anna prepares herself as she begins her official training in Saintess magic. The royal castle stands grand and imposing under a clear sky as the morning light hits it. Inside the carriage, the blonde prince looks at the silver-haired woman as she calls his name. They sit across from each other in the luxurious interior, heading together toward the castle grounds. Silvio explains that her status as a Saintess would cause a major commotion if she walked publicly. He emphasizes the necessity of traveling by carriage at all times to ensure her safety and privacy. A chibi Silvio happily suggests they share a carriage every morning, leaving Anna looking quite overwhelmed. With a sudden soft rumble sounding, the carriage arrives at the castle as Anna admits her discomfort. Silvio outlines the plan for her lessons, which focus on strengthening and refining her unique magical power. He confirms the training will last 10 days and be conducted by the kingdom's most elite magicians. Narration explains that Saintess magic is so unique that it requires specialized and formal guidance to master. Clenching the fabric of her dress, Anna realizes that today marks her first step into official duties. A determined yet nervous chibi Anna prepares herself while Silvio expresses total confidence in her potential. Silvio notes she already used magic skillfully, though Anna insists it was only a reflexive reaction. She recalls the massive magic circle that appeared between her and Melissa during the recent confrontation. Anna looks down with a bead of sweat, feeling that her previous success was largely accidental. She remembers her time as a maid when her magical power was so weak she struggled. Watching a small spark of light in her hands, she believes the Saintess's power holds far greater potential. She admits to herself that she lacks confidence in her ability to control such a massive force. Anna turns her head, a look of resolve forming on her face as she faces the future. Silvio and Anna stand together amidst a garden of flowers, looking at each other with quiet understanding. Anna expresses her firm resolve to train properly and fulfill her new role as Saintess. Silvio praises her wonderful heart through the window while cautioning her against overworking herself. The blonde prince offers a tender smile, reassuring Anna that she is precious as herself. Overwhelmed by his sincere kindness, the silver-haired woman looks at him while softly calling his name. With a sudden sharp kia sounding, Anna flinches back in surprise as the prince approaches her. A flurry of magical sparkles fills the air during their sudden and intimate physical proximity. Silvio pulls her into a firm embrace, his face inches from hers in a silent moment. Anna's hand rests against his chest as she stares back in complete and utter speechlessness. Retreating from the prince's grasp, Anna frantically apologizes for her reflexive and sudden movement. She laments her reaction, worrying that she offended him by avoiding his well-intentioned help. Flustered and blushing, she tries to explain that her reaction was not what it seemed. Silvio remains calm and patient, suggesting she will simply need time to adjust to intimacy. His blue eyes narrow with a mysterious intent as he begins to add a condition. He gently takes her hand, maintaining his soft but incredibly persistent and focused gaze on her. Leaning in close, Silvio whispers a private and potentially daring suggestion into the woman's ear. Anna's face turns a bright burning red at the prince's bold and unexpected proximity. She questions his sudden shift in topic while he argues that their relationship is natural progression. A chibi Anna stammers in confusion, unable to find a counter-argument to the prince's logic. As their carriage travels, they both admit their mutual lack of experience with romantic relationships. Silvio proposes that they should practice intimacy together to make their future interactions more comfortable. He playfully compares romantic practice to magical training, implying it requires repetition to master. Lifting her chin, the prince suggests they start their practice with something like a cheek kiss. The prince leans into her space, his focus entirely on the flustered woman before him. His fingers rest gently under her chin, guiding her toward an impending and very personal moment. Anna shuts her eyes in nervous anticipation as the prince closes the distance between them. The intimate moment is broken as the driver announces their arrival at the royal castle. Silvio pulls away and politely thanks the carriage driver, ending the sudden tension. Anna watches him walk ahead, suspecting that the prince might be teasing her on purpose. Silvio holds out a hand and invites her to follow him into the castle grounds. Reaching out, the silver-haired woman accepts his hand while softly confirming her readiness to proceed. The blonde prince leads the way, his focus now shifting toward the day's official tasks. The grand and majestic royal castle looms ahead of them under a bright, clear sky. Standing before the castle entrance, the royal couple prepares to begin the Saintess's formal training. Anna notices two figures waiting nearby and wonders about their identity and their specific roles. A tall man and a woman in formal dark uniforms stand ready to receive them. The green-haired man, Osna Green, and his assistant, Kami Walker, introduce themselves as her instructors. Silvio gives a stern command to the pair, demanding they prioritize Anna's safety during training.
He informs her that he must depart for duties but promises to return later today.
Anna watches him depart, wishing him well as she faces her new teachers alone. She politely greets her instructors again, expressing her sincere hope for a productive day together.
The red-haired woman, Kami Walker, reacts with immediate and obvious disdain behind her polite exterior.
Kami inwardly complains that the Saintess is an unremarkable older woman, expressing pity for the prince. Anna reacts with a look of stunned confusion, sensing the intense and unexpected hostility from Kami.